My alcoholic best friend told me she hooked up with my boyfriend, but he says she's lying. After speaking to them, I know which relationship is worth saving. I've been best friends with Becca since 2010. We were college roommates and then lived together until I moved in with my boyfriend Nate in 2019. Becca has always had a drinking problem, and she's done stuff while intoxicated that has sometimes caused problems in our friendship. Last Saturday, Becca called me because she was intoxicated and needed a ride home. I had the flu, so Nate went to get her instead. A couple of days later, I started noticing that Nate kept putting his phone face down on the coffee table when he wasn't using it. This wasn't normal, but I just thought him and Becca were planning a surprise for me. Yesterday, I saw Becca and told her about Nate being sneaky and asked if he was proposing soon. Out of nowhere, Becca started crying and told me that she and Nate hooked up in his car the night that he came to pick her up. She said she was really intoxicated and didn't fully know what she was doing. She'd been texting him that he needed to tell me what happened or else she was going to. I asked Becca to show me the texts, but they were all on Signal, which deletes messages after a day. She said that I could believe her or not, and it's my choice. But she was telling the truth. I said I needed to go home and talk to Nate. When I got home, I confronted Nate about Becca's accusation, and he acted shocked and denied everything. He said that he had just given Becca a ride home, and they talked about how we should get married already. He admitted they were talking on Signal about engagement rings and proposal ideas. Nate then texted her asking her if she made up a story about them hooking up to not ruin the surprise about his proposal, and she texted him back that there was no proposal, and to stop playing dumb. Nate said we were on the verge of breaking up, and he'd rather just have the surprise be ruined, but Becca kept telling Nate to stop lying until he got angry and hung up on her. Nate told me he was upset that the surprise got ruined and that I believed Becca, and stopped speaking to me. I really didn't know what to think, and I still don't. Update. I told Nate that I had found a way to recover deleted messages from Signal, and he immediately asked me to show him how to do it. Since he didn't panic, I knew he was telling the truth. Unfortunately, my phone was old and I couldn't get it to work. But Nate told me we were going to Verizon to get me a new phone and prove his innocence and see that Becca lied because she's a effing crazy drink beach. By then, I completely believed Nate anyway. I told him I was going to cut Becca off, but I wanted to try to get her to admit that nothing happened. So I called her on speakerphone and told her I could recover deleted messages on Signal. She asked me why I felt the need to do that instead of trusting her, which immediately put me off. I told her I wanted proof of the conversation and I had already seen everything they talked about. After that, Becca just went silent until I told her to say something. Then she asked me if that meant that we were engaged now. I really just lost it and screamed asking her if she was serious, and what the F was wrong with her, and how could that possibly be all that she had to say. Becca screamed that I obviously never believed her because we didn't break up. I was crying by that point, so Nate told Becca to go F herself and to never ever contact either one of us ever again. A minute later, Becca sent me a completely unhinged text saying, "You are supposed to be my friend for life. You are supposed to be there for me. But then you meet Nate and only care about him. Everything is about Nate. Tell me why Nate came to pick me up when I called you. I called you, not your precious effing Nate. I only want you to see how effed up this is, but do you? No, of course you don't. Of course you choose Nate over me like you always do and like you always will. You pretend to care about me, but I can see you don't. It is pathetic. You are a pathetic woman who would choose a man over a friend. But since you can't say it yourself, I will. Since you have to have your sweet, perfect little baby Nate do it for you, I will. Goodbye. Is that what you want? Goodbye forever. I hope you effing got what you effing want." I blocked her after that. As for Nate, I asked him if he thought he could ever forgive me for doubting him, and he said that since I cut Becca off, we can try to put it behind us.